Hello. Okay. So far, only about 29 students joined. Please join. Okay, Nama. In the last classes, Chandrasekhar sir has given syllabus for this e-transfer. What are the textbooks? So you follow J.P. Hallman textbook and Sachideva, and there are a number of other textbooks also available. R.S. Kurmi, number of textbooks are available in our library also. You can purchase any one textbook and you can follow. So I am following Hallman and Kurme, both the textbooks. So you can refer J.P. Hallman, one text e-transfer by J.P. Hallman. And second one, heat and mass transfer by Sachdeva. And third one, Vajasik, heat transfer by Vajasik. Fourth one, heat and mass transfer by that Kurme. So you can follow any one of these textbooks. And today we'll discuss the introduction part of heat transfer and modes of heat transfer. Okay. First, all of you join. So far only 35 students are joined. Okay. So in this class, we'll discuss what is heat transfer, what are the modes of heat transfer, and what are the mechanisms, conduction heat transfer mechanism. After that, we'll go for convection heat transfer mechanism, and then we'll go for radiation heat transfer mechanism. Okay. So what is heat transfer? Heat transfer is the science that seeks to predict the energy transfer that may take place between material bodies. But how? As a result of temperature difference. So heat transfer from one body to other body, high temperature body to low temperature body. Generally, heat is transferred from high temperature body to low temperature body. That is energy. Heat transfer is energy transfer only. Heat is energy only. Heat energy. For that, in order to heat transfer to take place, you require material bodies from one body to other body, between material bodies and one body to other body. But how the heat is transferred with the help of what? With the help of a temperature difference. Always temperature difference must be required. Temperature difference must be required in order to heat transfer take place. So, so two bodies, for example, one body is high temperature, other body is low temperature, and there must be temperature difference. If in order to heat transfer to take place, temperature difference must be there. For example, if take the example of boiler, all of you listen carefully. Take the example of boiler. For example, how the water is being heated with the help of the flue gas temperature, flue gases. If you burn the coal, if you burn the fuel inside the boiler, the flue gases are developed. And those flue gases having a temperature, high temperature. So temperature transfer from so hot flue gases to cold water. Hot flue gases to cold water. then the temperature of the water increases. So that's why there are two temperature difference from hot flue gas to cool water. So cool water is at low temperature. Otherwise water is at low temperature, whereas flue gas are at high temperature. That's why for any heat transfer, you require a temperature difference. So heat transfer from high temperature flue gases to low temperature water. Two bodies here. In between, there will be material. So sometimes there is conduction heat transfer, sometimes convection heat transfer, sometimes radiation heat transfer. Okay, so what is what? We'll see one by one. So what heat transfer, in order to heat transfer, you require some material bodies which are having at different temperatures. One may be at high temperature, other may be at a lower temperature. That's why there must be a temperature difference must be there in order to heat transfer takes place. That's why you can define heat transfer as heat transfer is a science that seeks to predict the energy transfer. Predict the energy transfer that may take place, energy transfer from one body to other body, that may take place between material bodies. But how? As a result of a temperature difference. So temperature difference must be there in order to heat transfer take place. So here heat transfer rate, heat transfer rate we have to calculate. Heat transfer is used to predict the rate at which exchange will take place under certain specified conditions. Certain specified conditions, what is the density of the material, what is the specific gravity, what is the that velocity, like that. And also you have to calculate heat transfer rate to be calculated. Heat transfer is the energy transfer between material bodies as a result of a temperature difference. So heat is transferred through modes of three modes of heat transfer are there. What are the modes of heat transfer? As already explained by Chandrasekhar sir, there are three modes of heat transfer. So first one, conduction heat transfer. Second one, convection heat transfer. Third one, radiation heat transfer. So what is what? First we will discuss introduction part of conduction heat transfer. So first we'll discuss introduction part of conduction heat transfer. So what is conduction? So when a temperature gradient exists in a body, there is an energy transfer from high temperature region to the low temperature region. Here, so in the solids, generally in the solids, heat is transferred through the mode of conduction. So here, in the conduction, there is one important law. Fourier's law of heat conduction. Fourier's law of heat conduction. So what is Fourier's law of heat conduction? Heat transfer rate per unit area is proportional to the normal temperature gradient. Normal temperature gradient. For example, if you take a thickness of material, so heat transfer through conduction from one end to other end is normal to the, this is a, for example, heat transfer rate Q per unit area. This perpendicular normal area. So this is height and perpendicular to the paper or perpendicular to the screen. One more dimension. So like this. So This is the height of the plate. This is the width of the plate. So area, height into width, that is the area, normal area. So according to Fourier, so Fourier developed a law in the conduction, heat transfer, or through the conduction heat transfer mode, how the heat is being transferred. So heat transfer rate per unit area is proportional to the normal temperature gradient. Change in temperature dt. So Q by A, heat transfer rate per unit area, is proportional to temperature gradient dt for a thickness of dx. For example, here if you take this vertical plate, dx, that is width, thickness, dx, thickness, for example 3 centimeters. So dx is 3 centimeters. So temperature difference 400 degrees centigrade to 100 degrees centigrade. So temperature difference 400 minus 100. That's why 300. Like that. So heat transfer rate per unit area, Q is heat transfer rate. A is the area. So Q by A, heat transfer rate per unit area, is directly proportional to temperature gradient, that is dt by dx. dt, change in temperature, dx, change in the thickness or thickness of the plate. So this law is initially developed by a scientist Fourier. So Fourier's law, heat transfer per unit area directly proportional to temperature gradient or normal temperature gradient, that is dt by dx, where dt is the temperature change, dx is the thickness change or thickness of the plate. If you say a single plate, the thickness, dx is thickness. Okay, if we remove the proportionality, there will be proportionality constant. K, where K is the thermal conductivity of a given material. For example, if you take this material, plate material is steel, aluminum, or copper. So K is the thermal conductivity of the material. And A is the, okay, if you remove the proportionality and if you take the area to the right side, therefore Q is equal to heat transfer rate, Q is equal to minus Ka into dt by dx, where K is the thermal conductivity of material, area is the normal area, dt, change in temperature, dx, thickness of the plate. Okay, na? Where Q is equal to heat transfer rate, dt by dx, temperature gradient in the direction of heat flow. And K value is positive here. That's why minus into here positive value is called K, positive K is called the thermal conductivity of the material. Therefore, Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dx. But why I have taken minus K? Because temperature decreases in the direction. Temperature decreases in the direction to have a positive value of heat transfer. So this is change in temperature. 100 minus 400, 300, minus 300, minus into minus 300, then will become the plus heat transfer rate. So to take care of the decreasing of temperature, that's why you have to use a minus sign here. So temperature decreases in the direction, in the heat transfer direction. That's why minus value, I have taken minus value. The above equation Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dx, minus Ka dt by dx. This equation is called Fourier's law of Fourier's, Fourier, Fourier's law of heat conduction. Okay, if you find out the units of K, here Q is in watts, area is in meter square, delta dt is in Kelvin, temperature, generally temperature in Kelvin square, dt in Kelvin, dx in meters. So here meter square by meter, then meter. And if K is equal to watt, by meter, watt per meter per Kelvin. If you observe this equation, we find out units of K, then we'll get units of K are watt per meter Kelvin. Watt per meter Kelvin. So the above equation is called the Fourier's law of heat conduction. Okay, na? Very, very important law. Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dx. This law is known as Fourier's law of heat conduction. Okay, okay. Now, mechanism, conduction mechanism, how the heat is transferred from one part of the hot body to other part of the cold other part of the other part of the body, cold part of other cold part of the body, hot part of the body to cold part. How the heat is transferred? So what is the heat transfer mechanism in the conduction or conduction mechanism? Here mainly there are through two modes it is transferred from one part of the body to other part of the body. First one by lattice vibration. Second one by transport of free electrons. Conduction mechanism. Standard 2 marks question. What is conduction heat transfer mechanism? Explain. Explain the conduction heat transfer mechanism briefly. 2 marks or sometimes 4 marks. So there are two parameters here. One is, so heat is transferred from one part of the body to other part. Generally in the solids, heat is transferred from one part of the body to other part through conduction. But how the heat is transferred? By lattice vibration, vibration of the lattice. Here, how the heat is transferred? The faster moving molecules, in the hottest part of a body, in the hottest part of a body, transfer heat by impacting some of their energy to adjacent molecules. Here, for example, if you heat here, the temperature is high and heat is transferred from this point to this point. Fastest moving molecule impacts some of its energy to coolest molecule. Then again, second molecule gets high energy and its temperature increases. Next, the second molecule gives heat to the third molecule. Then the temperature of the third molecule increases. Like that, the fastest by vibration of the lattice, by lattice vibration, the faster moving molecules in the hottest part of the body transfer heat by impacting some of its energy to the next adjacent molecule. Then second adjacent molecule gets high energy. Then the temperature of the second molecule increases. And again, that high temperature second molecule impacts the third molecule, cold molecule. And then the third molecule gets high energy, high temperature from the second high energy molecule. So like that, the mechanism, conduction heat transfer mechanism, the fastest moving molecules in the hottest part of the body transfer heat by impacting some of the energy to the adjacent molecules. Next, second, by transport of free electrons. So free electrons are available whenever the temperature is there. So free electrons provide an energy flux in the direction of decreasing temperature. Here, in the direction of decreasing temperature. So free electrons provides an energy flux. With that energy flux, heat is transferred from one part of the body to other part. So this is a mechanism, conduction heat transfer mechanism by lattice vibration and by transport of free electrons. Free electrons provide an energy flux in the direction of decreasing temperature. So that's what is Fourier's law of heat conduction and what is conduction heat transfer mechanism. And here thermal conductivity also very, very important in this conduction. thermal conductivity of the material. Thermal conductivity of the material. So if you know the thermal conductivity of that particular material, with that conductivity value, you can know how fast the heat will flow in a given material. So thermal conductivity importance is the numerical value of the thermal conductivity. The numerical value of the thermal conductivity indicates how fast heat will flow in a given material. What is the importance of thermal conductivity? Thermal conductivity of material. So the numerical value of the thermal conductivity indicates how fast heat will flow in a given material. So if thermal conductivity is high, so heat transfer is very fast. If thermal conductivity is low, heat transfer is low. For example, if it is a copper material, copper thermal conductivity is high when compared with aluminum. So if you use the copper material, so heat transfer is very, very fast. Instead of that, if you use the aluminum, when compared with copper, aluminum material will give so less heat transfer. Like that, if you take the insulating material, asbestos, rock wool, glass wool, and rubber, so those materials having the very low thermal conductivity. That's why insulating materials. For example, you avoid heat transfer from one part, for example, boilers. Boilers heat transfer, to avoid heat transfer from boiler part to environment, to avoid energy waste, we have to insulate the boiler outside. We have to insulate the boiler with insulating material, just like rock wool, mineral wool, glass wool. Those are the insulating materials. Rock wool, mineral wool, glass wool, and rubber, asbestos, and that asbestos rope. Those are the less thermal conductive materials or insulating materials. So if you want to avoid heat transfer from boiler to environment, that's why to avoid energy loss, we have to insulate the outside surface of the boiler with an insulating material. That's why thermal conductivity is very, very important. So thermal conductivity of given material. For example, if you compare silver, copper, aluminum, thermal conductivity decreases from silver to copper, copper to aluminum. And again, the thermal conductivity of insulating material is very low, like that. So conductivity depend upon the given material. The thermal conductivity indicates how fast heat will flow in a given material. Okay, na? So that's about briefly what is conduction heat transfer. How the heat transfer takes place through conduction, the conduction mechanism, and after that we will discuss a small problem on this conduction. One face of a copper plate. You take this as a copper plate, material copper plate. One face of a copper plate is at 400 degrees centigrade. Other face is maintained at 100 degrees centigrade. How much heat is transferred through the plate? Take thermal conductivity K. Take K of the copper is 370 watts per meter Kelvin. Take thermal conductivity K of copper is 370 watt per meter Kelvin. A small, very, very small problem. One face of a copper plate, is maintained at 400 degrees centigrade, and other face is maintained at 100 degrees centigrade. How much it is transferred through the plate? What is the heat transfer rate? How do you calculate? And he has given the thermal conductor copper 370 watt per meter Kelvin. Here given T1 400 degrees centigrade, T2 100 degrees centigrade, and thickness of the plate 3 centimeters, and thermal conductivity K of the copper 370 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay na? So here, how do you calculate heat transfer rate? Through in the conduction. So here conduction mode only. So how do you calculate? By using Fourier's law of heat conduction. Fourier's law of heat conduction. What is Fourier's law of heat conduction? Heat transfer rate is proportional to heat transfer rate per unit area is proportional to temperature gradient, normal temperature gradient. That is Q is proportional to Q by A is proportional to dt by dx. If you remove the proportionality and if you take the area to the right side, and heat transfer rate Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dx. So this has been already explained while explaining the Fourier's law of heat conduction. So here Q by A per unit area has not given the dimensions, height not given, and other dimension, this dimension, other dimension not given, height not given. That's why you can calculate heat transfer rate per unit area. If nothing is mentioned in the problem, you can take per unit area calculation, per unit area heat transfer. So from this equation, Q by A is equal to minus K dt by dx, minus K dt by dx. So K is the thermal conductivity given material, and dt temperature gradient, dx is the thickness. So minus K value of the copper given as 370 into, so change in temperature. So final temperature 100, initial temperature 400. That's why 400 minus, sorry, 100 minus 400 minus 370 into 100 minus 400. So 100 minus 400 minus 300. So minus into minus plus. That's why 370 into 300 divided by what is dx value? That thickness of the material. Thickness of the material, dx value 3 centimeters. 3 centimeter thickness. So here 370 into, so 300 into 3 is in centimeters. So you have to convert it into meters. 3 into 10 power minus 2. Then it becomes meters. And here 100. 100 if you take top into 100. So, 100 to minus 1. If you take it to 100. So 370 into 300 into 100 divided by 3. So if you calculate the heat transfer rate per unit area, so after getting the value 37 lakhs watt per meter square. It has not given the area. That's why per 1 meter square. Unit area, per unit area. What is the heat transfer? How much heat is being transferred per unit area? If the area is given, your dimensions are given for this plate, and you have to calculate the area, and you have to substitute the area value here. For example, height is some 70 centimeters, width is 30 centimeters, area is 0.7 and 0.3 in meter square, 0.7 and 0.3 meter square. So you have to substitute that value here, and you can calculate the total heat transfer rate. Okay, per unit area here 37 lakhs watts per meter square. Like that, briefly, what is conduction heat transfer? Introduction to the conduction. So what is conduction? What is the conduction heat transfer mechanism? And how to solve a small problem. Okay na? Now, that's about first mode. There are three modes of heat transfer here. First one is conduction. And second one is convection heat transfer, convection mode. And third, radiation. Okay, second. First we'll discuss second part. That is convection heat transfer. Convection. So here, So here how the heat transfer takes place through convection. Through convection. Here consider a plate, horizontal plate. This one, the length of the plate, width W, width of the plate W. The wall of the plate. TW, wall temperature. Q, you are heating the plate with a heat transfer rate Q. You are giving heat transfer rate Q. So here, so natural air is flowing on the hot plate. Air flow, for example, natural air flow is flowing on the hot plate. So it is transferred from hot plate to air. So this is velocity, the U free stream, this symbol, free stream, temperature of the free stream, T free stream, the temperature of the air or temperature of the free stream. U free stream, velocity of the air, or if air is flowing over a hot plate, and U free stream, medium, here, the through fluid, here convection, it takes place through fluid. Fluid may be air, air or liquid. Fluid may be liquid or gas. Here water, you can take water, that is liquid. You can take air, that is a gas. So heat transfer through fluid is convection. So here on the surface up through the plate, conduction heat transfer because the thickness is there, and above the plate, convection heat transfer. So within the liquid, within the fluid, heat is transferred from one part of the fluid to other part through convection. Convection currents are developed whenever if we heat, the temperature of this fluid particle changes or increases. Whenever the temperature of the fluid particle increases, the density of the fluid particle decreases. So due to density differences, there are convection currents are developed. Like this, convection currents are developed due to density differences. Whenever heat is being transferred from hot plate to this cold fluid, then temperature of the fluid increases. Then this hot fluid give temperature to this cold fluid. Then the temperature increases. Whenever temperature increases, density of the fluid decreases. The less dense fluid move upwards and high dense fluid go downwards. So dense, less density, low density fluid move upward, high density fluid go downwards. With that density changes, convection currents are developed within the fluid, within the fluid. So natural convection within the changes, because of changes in the densities of the fluid, there is a convection currents are developed. Convection currents are developed. Due to the convection currents, due to density changes, so heat transfer takes place within the fluid. That heat transfer is known as convection heat transfer. Convection heat transfer. So convection heat transfer. For this, you can explain, you can take the help of consider a heated plate. You are giving heat Q to the plate, and this is a wall surface of the plate. TW, temperature of the wall, or wall temperature. T free stream, temperature of the fluid. So heat is being transferred from TW to T free stream. So TW, temperature of the plate or wall temperature. T free stream, temperature of the fluid. So the physical mechanism at the wall of the plate is a conduction process. Within the plate material, heat is being transferred through conduction. For example, heat is from hot part to this part through conduction. And above the wall, here, above the wall, the heat transfer mode is convection. Or above the wall, there is a convection process. It is being transferred through convection. So to express the overall effect of convection heat transfer, convection heat transfer. So we use Newton's law of cooling. Here again, here heat is being transferred from TW to T free stream. According to which law? Newton's law of cooling. So heat is transferred from high temperature TW to low temperature T free stream. So that's why heat transfer is directly proportional to area and directly proportional to temperature difference TW minus T free stream. Heat transfer rate here in the convection, the law is Newton's law of cooling. Newton's law of cooling. But what is Newton's law of cooling in the convection? Heat transfer rate Q is directly proportional to area. This one, area of the plate. Length into width. Surface area of the plate. And directly heat transfer rate is directly proportional to area and directly proportional to temperature difference, the TW minus T free stream. So it is being transferred from TW to T free stream. So Q is equal to, if you remove the proportionality, here proportionality constant small h. So Q is equal to H into A into TW minus T free stream, where H is the convective heat transfer coefficient. Convective heat transfer coefficient or convection heat transfer coefficient. So Q is equal to HA into TW minus T free stream, where Q is equal to heat transfer rate in watts. H is the convective heat transfer coefficient. A is the surface area. So TW minus T free stream. TW, wall temperature or plate temperature, plate surface temperature. T free stream, that is fluid temperature or air temperature. What is the fluid? If you take air temperature or fluid temperature or free stream temperature, the difference TW and T free stream, overall temperature difference between the wall and the fluid. Overall temperature difference between the wall and the fluid. So temperature. So TW is more than that of T free stream. That's why heat transfer from high temperature to low temperature. High temperature to low temperature. So here Q is equal to HA into TW minus T free stream. So TW minus T free stream is the overall temperature difference between the wall and the fluid. Now, if you find out units of H, so Q in watts, A is area, temperature in Kelvin. That's why H is equal to Q by area into temperature. Q in watts by area meter square by temperature in Kelvin. So the units of H are watt per meter square Kelvin. Units of H are watt per meter square Kelvin. So if you use this formula, Q is equal to HA and temperature difference. H is equal to Q by area into temperature. So Q is in watts and area in meter square and temperature in Kelvin. That's why the units of H are watt per meter square Kelvin. But what is the units of K, thermal conductivity of the material? Units of K, watt per meter Kelvin. Whereas units of convective heat transfer coefficient, convection heat transfer coefficient, watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay, whenever convection heat transfer takes place, the velocity of flow of the fluid, density of the fluid, and specific heat of the fluid, like that there are other properties that affects the heat transfer, convection heat transfer. So convection heat transfer will have a dependence on the viscosity of the fluid. Viscosity. So more viscous, less heat transfer. Less viscous, more heat transfer. That's why, so convection heat transfer will depend upon the viscosity of the fluid in addition to its dependence on thermal properties of the fluid. Convection heat transfer depends upon viscosity of the fluid and also thermal properties of the fluid. But what are the thermal properties of the fluid? Thermal properties of the fluid. K, thermal conductivity of the given fluid. Here, thermal conductivity K of the given fluid. Fluid may be air or water. So in conduction, that is material K, thermal conductive material, copper, silver, like that. But here K is thermal conductive given fluid or liquid or air or any other fluid. So convection heat transfer depends upon the viscosity of the fluid as well as thermal conductivity of the fluid, and C, specific heat of the fluid, and rho, density of the fluid. Density of the fluid. So convection heat transfer depends upon area, surface area, temperature difference, and also thermal conductivity, viscosity of the fluid and thermal conductivity of the fluid. Specific heat C. C is specific heat. Specific heat of the fluid. Rho is the density of the fluid. And here, because the viscosity influences the velocity profile. Velocity, this is the velocity profile here. Velocity profile. According to Newton's law of viscosity, shear stress tau is mu into du by dy. Mu, coefficient of dynamic viscosity. Change in the velocities with respect to the y direction. The y direction. So du by dy. Shear stress tau is equal to mu into du by dy. That is the Newton's law of viscosity. Yeah, that's why viscosity in the convection, viscosity plays a very, very important role. That's why here you have to take the Newton's law of cooling as well as Newton's law of viscosity. Sometimes you have combined together both the laws in order to have a better idea about the convection heat transfer. That's why convection heat transfer will depend upon the viscosity of the fluid in addition to that thermal properties of the fluid. Thermal conductivity of the fluid, C, specific heat of the fluid, rho, density of the fluid, and here viscosity influences the velocity profile. That's why you have to consider viscosity as well as thermal properties of the fluid in addition to surface area and temperature difference while analyzing this convection heat transfer. Okay, now so there are two types of convections. What are two types of convections? Anybody having idea? There are two types of convections. Free convection or natural convection. And second one, forced convection. Free convection or natural convection. Second one, forced convection. Here the free convection takes place due to density gradients near the plate. Here, because density changes of the fluid, the free convection, so automatically, for example, if you keep this hot plate in air, heat transfer from heat is removed from the hot plate and heat is transferred from hot plate to air. That is naturally, heat transfer takes place in a natural mode through convection. That type of, because of changes in the densities of the fluid. So high dense liquid go downward, low dense liquid move upward, and due to that, density currents are developed. So that kind of heat transfer is known as convection. That kind of convection heat transfer is known as free convection heat transfer without providing any external agency to remove the heat from this hot plate. If the heat is removed naturally, that is natural convection heat transfer, or free convection heat transfer. But instead of that, if you provide a blower here or fan here, then heat is transferred from hot plate to this liquid in a fast manner, within a short period. If you provide external agency like fan or blower, if you blow air on this hot plate, so within less time, within a short period of time, it is being transferred. But if you naturally transfer, it takes time. So forced convection, if you provide a fan and if you blowing the air over a hot plate, fan blowing air over a hot plate, and heat is transferred from hot plate to the near vicinity fluid, that may be air or water, and then that kind of, if you provide a fan here, blower here, within less time it is being transferred. It is being transferred from hot plate to air. So that is known as forced convection heat transfer. Forced convection heat transfer. Forced convection heat transfer. If you provide an external agency like fan or blower, heat transfer takes place within a less time, a short time. But if you naturally, only if you do not provide any fan or blower, it takes time to have a heat transfer from hot plate to air in a natural manner. It takes time. But if you want to remove the heat in a fast manner, within a short period of time, you have to provide a fan or blower here. Here, if you provide a fan or blower, then that kind of convection heat transfer is known as forced convection heat transfer. Forced convection heat transfer. So what is the mechanism here? Convection heat transfer mechanism, because of density changes. Density currents are, convection currents are developed, and with that density changes, it is being transferred from uh, hot part of the fluid to cold part of the fluid. So that is the mechanism here, convection heat transfer mechanism. Now we'll discuss a small problem on this convection heat transfer. Air at 20 degrees blows over a hot plate 50 by 75 centimeters, maintained at 250 degrees centigrade. The convection heat transfer coefficient is 25 watts per meter square. Calculate the heat transfer. Very simple. Here, hot plate having a wall temperature 250 degrees centigrade, and air is coming onto the hot plate at 20 degrees centigrade. Naturally, convection heat transfer. And area of the plate 50 by 75 centimeters means area 50 into 75 centimeters square, or 0.5 into 0.75 meters square. And convection heat transfer coefficient given as H is given as 25 watts per meter square. But how do you calculate heat transfer rate in the convection? By using Newton's law of cooling. From Newton's law of cooling, heat transfer rate Q is equal to HA into TW minus T free stream. H value 25, area 0.5 into 0.75 into wall temperature 250, air temperature T free stream, air temperature 20. Because temperature difference directly can take the centigrade, but if you want only one temperature, you have to convert into Kelvin. 250 plus 273 minus 20 plus 273. So 273, 273 get cancelled. Finally, 250 minus 20. Then we'll be getting as 2.156 kilowatts. So from Newton's law of cooling, Q is equal to HA into TW minus T free stream. H value given as 25, area 0.5 into 0.75 into 250 minus 20. After calculation, you will be getting heat transfer rate as 2.156 kilowatts. 2.156 kilowatts. Like that, So today I have completed conduction mechanism, heat transfer mechanism, convection heat transfer mechanism. What is conduction? What is convection? Well, I have given a small problem on conduction, small problem on this convection. So that's all for today. With this, I am closing today's class. Tomorrow we'll get the next continuation part of this. Next radiation, we'll see tomorrow in the next class. Next class. Whatever we will next class. So any doubt? Any doubt? Do you have any doubt? Okay. With this, I am stopping. There are notes. That's all for today. We are not having any doubt. That's all for today. Okay. Thank you.